All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lights, Camera, Nonsense, where we give you all the latest movie news, rumors, and more while getting sidetracked along the way. I'm Nick Simmons.
And I'm Zach Smith.
And for the week of September 21st, let's start rolling. Zach, what have you been watching?
Well, Nick, this week I watched many things. I watched some more Terrace House.
Nice.
I watched some more Big Show.
Yes.
I watched...
a lot of reality shows.
My wife had gotten me into Outlander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that the one with, like, the Scottish guy gets sent back in time or something?
The English woman gets sent back in time.
Oh, okay.
To, like, warring state between Scotland and England.
Okay.
So,
like Braveheart, kind of?
Yeah, Braveheart times.
Is it a modern English woman, or is it like...
Yes, well, it's off the heels of World War II.
World War II, okay,
yeah.
So 1940s to, like, what, 1300s? I don't know. I don't know when Braveheart took place.
Like 1400s.
Okay,
yeah.
but a long time.
Yeah.
Weird.
A
lot of nudity in that show.
There is a lot. It's just straight porn sometimes,
Yeah.
man. Like, it's worse than Game of Thrones.
All right. I mean, oh, no. It's on Showtime?
I think it's on Stars.
Stars.
But I don't know if it originated there.
Oh, I know it started off as a book series, right? And then
Yeah,
it became a TV show.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
All the sexiness.
It's very sexy. Lots of romance and quite violent too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Would you say this is a kind of a cool? I don't want to say fantasy, but it's kind of a romantic drama version of Game of Thrones.
It's like romantic drama, historical fiction. You know?
Okay, yeah.
Because the whole premise is she's going back in time and like she knows certain things about that time period.
Yeah.
So she has to like use that to her advantage sometimes, but she also needs to like kind of meter how she responds to people.
Yeah.
Like even though she's walking around saying like fucking Roosevelt's name half the time,
she can't help it.
She'll go like, "You're a fucking masochist," and they're like, What's a masochist?
It's just normal to them.
Yeah.
It's like imagine the woman from 50 Shades of Grey gets transported back to Pride and Prejudice with Heathcliff.
I don't know if that tracks exactly, but yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure.
Something interesting I found out about this show just recently, actually, is Bear McCreary does the music.
Oh, he does the music for like every historical drama action show. He did the music for Black Sails. Help me out. Westworld.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I'm just now getting on the McCreary train after God of War and King of Monsters.
Yeah.
So like now I'm noticing him pop up everywhere.
He's got a very raw and gritty sound to his music.
Like you can recognize it like the same way you can recognize a Michael Giacchino, or is that how you say it?
Giacchino.
Yeah.
Italian.
Yeah. The same way you can recognize him when he shows up.
Yeah.
I feel like you can recognize McCreary when he pops up.
Ennio Morricone or John Williams or
exactly.
Hans Zimmer. Da-dun. Yeah. We got it.
Yeah.
We know our composers.
And then aside from that, I also watched my wife and I went to see a limited release called Brittany Runs a Marathon.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It's an Amazon Studios movie. It was fine.
It's fine.
It's like a cute feel-good movie, and it's supposedly based off a real story, but I don't know. Like, you take that with a grain of salt. Like, they post pictures of this person in real life running a marathon at the end, but that's all they show. So it's like, okay, well, she did run a marathon at some point.
So the title holds up.
Yeah.
It's got a cast of Jillian Bell, who plays Brittany. You got Lil Rel, sorry.
I didn't recognize a single person in this movie.
Mikey Dave from Saturday Night Live.
No, I don't watch SNL. No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah, a lot of people who aren't in a lot of... They're not big name actors, but it's a independent film. So.
It is. And it's like a budget film, too. Like, there's nothing crazy going on here. It's a feel-good movie. It's fine. Yeah. And it's pretty, like, boilerplate. Like, oh, a person finds out that they're not that great of a person right now and they need to better their life. Makes decision to better their life. Starts to better their life. Something goes wrong and they can't better their life anymore. And then they start to fall down the well of bettering their life. Then she realizes something's wrong, and then she revamps and oh, I've been a terrible person to the people that have been there for me, and now I'm gonna actually do the thing. And yeah, so it's pretty straightforward, but it's fine. It's not supposed to break the mold or anything.
Yeah.
But it was
What a wonderful review.
It's like if you want something that just I guess lifts your spirit, it's one of those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick, what have you been watching this week?
I've just been watching a lot of what I've been watching the last couple of weeks. Just comfort food like Friends and Terrace House, some more. I've just been really busy with work.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I'm a little bit light on what I've been watching.
That's okay. We did see one thing.
Yes,
together.
We did. There were two movies that came out this weekend. There was Rambo: Last Blood, which has not been reviewing well.
No, the creator himself of First Blood has gone on record and saying he's embarrassed to be associated with it.
Wow. You gotta... Steven Stallone, Sylvester's weird clone. Sylvester Stallone definitely has a big part to play in how long this franchise has lasted and the meaning behind the character. And when he realized the franchise ability behind this, he took it by the loins and thrust it into existence. And so we got the Rambo remake, which came out forever ago, which I think was the last one before this one, right?
Yeah, it was
because he did Creed and Creed 2 and Rocky Balboa. But it's not been getting reviewed well. I think it's less than 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 36, I think, last time I checked. I don't really have anything to say about that. I mean, I haven't really seen a Rambo film since the remake when it came out forever ago. But cool. If you want cool, mindless action, go see anything else.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the other film that came out this weekend is actually the film that we watched last week. Yesterday. I know where I am. What day is it?
Who am I?
We watched Ad Astra last night.
We did.
Which is Latin for To the Stars.
I meant to look it up because when we were sitting there, I was like, I wonder what Ad Astra means.
It's when they're doing the opening crawl with the text and setting it up, and they highlight To the Stars. I had an inkling of that, and then I looked it up after.
Gotcha.
Because it's like Ad Absalom, Ad Astra or something to that effect. It's
gotcha.
When there's troubles, look to the stars or whatever.
Interesting.
Something like that. So that's where the title comes from. It's it's Brad Pitt. This just general synopsis because I feel, and we'll get into it. The general synopsis is Brad Pitt is tasked with getting in contact with his father, who disappeared 16 years prior to the beginning of the story, after a large EMP blast affects the entire solar system. Basically, it's set in the future, the near future, but again, spoiler. I don't want to say.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to talk about this movie too much because it's one of those ones where the less you know, the better.
Yeah.
For me, the only thing I knew going in was that he was looking for his dad in space.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. And his dad is Tommy Lee Jones. But that was it.
You've got great cameos in this film. You got Ruth Negga. You got Natasha Lyonne from Orange is the New Black. You've got... he's not the Allstate guy. I think he's actually... I can't remember his name. I don't want to look it up.
Are you thinking of Donald Sutherland?
No. No. Never mind. But it's definitely a vehicle for Brad Pitt, and I don't want to hype up the movie for people who are general moviegoers, and they're going to go see it because Brad Pitt's the poster of the entire film. And it's like, ooh, space. Ooh, Brad Pitt. What's this about? Is he shirtless in space? Who knows? It's not. It's very much, and I brought this up after we left the theater, it's Blade Runner meets Apocalypse Now. In that it takes elements of those stories. It's very introspective. It's very much about the human condition.
Yeah, it's a heady movie.
Yes. Be prepared to, I don't know, walk out of the movie theater going, you'll either hate it or you love it. Because when you go into it, you're going to be expecting one thing, and it's not going to be bad.
Well, I think you could feasibly say that the first 2/3 of the movie are like a little easier to recommend, but then once it gets into that last third is when it starts to get super introspective, and they start doing these really long shots holding on like one specific thing.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the flash and panache of the earlier parts of the movie have been kind of left by the wayside because as the movie continues, it becomes more of a cerebral thing.
Right.
You're meant to consider and think more about what's happening as opposed to just watching a movie.
Well, and it's not to say that the visual effects aren't astounding.
No, they definitely not.
There's definitely a large budget put into the visual effects and the just overall set design in general, and the costume design. And while the acting is very muted for a lot of characters, I feel like that's on purpose.
Right, it is. Yeah.
Because we're looking through the lens of Brad Pitt's character.
Well, and this I don't think it's too much of a spoiler because it's like not like it's just part of the world.
Yeah.
But they're like kind of obsessed with like resting heart rates.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of plays into it, where everyone's a little bit more metered. There's not a whole lot of shouting in this.
You don't think that's because of his character's job specifically? Like, it's not just like civilians need to have a resting.
Well, when there are certain things that happen in space with civilians, and when they're looking at them, they're also conducting surveys on their heart rate. And I feel like that's a thing. So I feel like it's more important for him in his line of work, but I also feel like there's like some sort of thing that they've cracked into in the near future where they consider like an elevated heart rate to be early warning signs of something.
For sure.
So.
And while I wouldn't say there's necessarily a huge mystery to the film, I would definitely classify this as very much a noir, a neo-noir type of film.
I think you can make the argument for that.
I wouldn't say not cyberpunk, but like a very, I wouldn't even say dystopian, because it's not dystopian.
It's kind of weird coming onto this after a discussion last week about future movies.
Yeah.
In which there really isn't inherently anything wrong with the future.
Yeah, the Earth they don't state it's overpopulated or like they're running out of resources or anything, but we have explored space in this film.
And there's a central problem that is an issue with this EMP blast, but like that's an unusual occurrence. That's just not like, it's a brand new thing. There's the EMP blast for the day, like that's part of
No, this is a new like if a hurricane hit, the northwest United States, it'd be like, whoa.
What if Armageddon was a thing, but instead it was something that actually made sense?
Yeah. It's definitely got, it's very grounded and realistic in the sound design as well. Don't want to spoil anything, but there is some action set pieces in this film, and they take everything like at face. It's very realistic.
It's kind of crazy what in those action scenes, because I think I know which one specifically you're talking about. Where there's like so much action going on, and it's very tense and like almost blockbuster like, but it's so silent,
and so it's for some reason it makes it more personal because of how it makes it more intense, because you're not getting all the sounds like you expect from Star Wars or what have you, all those sci-fi
it's
films.
Like the lack of impact creates a bigger impact, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Would you recommend it to our listeners?
I think it's a fantastic movie. Definitely a surprise for me, because like I said, I knew almost nothing about it. And I think it might be one of my favorite movies of the year
Oh,
so far. Just in terms of like how well made it is, and the concept itself is fairly straightforward, but then they kind of go buck wild with it in terms of like world building and like delving into what that concept would actually mean for the world.
right.
Yeah, I never saw Interstellar, but I got the feeling from people who did see it that it was kind of meh for a Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah, because they've probably jumping off of the Dark Knight films, and did Dunkirk come out
That was
after?
Interstellar.
It was 2017, I think, and Interstellar was 2014.
And I get the feeling like Ad Astra is the movie that people who went and saw Interstellar wanted.
Yeah. I echo your sentiments exactly. I think that what I was... Because I knew a little bit more going into it, but I was just like, it's going to be Brad Pitt. It's going to be... I can't... Yeah, I mean, I just totally agree with every single one of the points that you made. I can't really... I was going to say the exact same thing, so thanks for that. Thanks for taking the wind out of my sails.
You're welcome. Give me your wind.
I need it to breathe. But yeah, that was like the one new thing that I watched this week that wasn't Friends, which we went into.
Just making your way.
Making my way through Friends, walking past.
Beautiful. Like your piano.
I don't want to copy. It's a copy strike. So that's what we've been watching, really.
Yeah, that's it. I think.
So let's dive into the news.
Yeah.
What actually was reported on and talked about this week from September 15th to September 21st.
Yes.
Because we go by the Sunday to Saturday.
Yes.
We're at the end of the week.
That is our construction of news.
Yes, we're construction workers.
Yes.
Uh,
Tink, tink,
This is great for audio listeners. Hey, look at us! We're up on this landing, and we're like eating sandwiches like that famous painting.
Oh, like the Fantasia 2000
bit. Yeah, that small bit.
That's a fairly chunky bit.
I don't know. I've it's been a while since I've seen the chunky bits of Fantasia 2000. Let's go ahead and start off with we picked a crazy week for
a little active this week.
Because the Emmys are actually premiering tomorrow night for 2019. So I figured I would go through the list very quickly of the Emmy nominations.
Lay it on me,
and
sir.
Try to... This would be a whole episode on its own, if we could. So I'll run through them and you give me your quick thoughts.
Okay.
Like, woo, or or whatever. So the first one I have here is Outstanding Comedy Series. The nominations are Barry, Fleabag, Russian Doll, Schitt's Creek, The Good Place, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Veep.
The only two that I've seen anything for on that list are Veep and The Good Place.
I've never seen Veep. I should watch Veep.
And all I've seen are like the later seasons.
Oh.
Probably the season that's nominated.
The latest.
Yeah.
I've seen Barry, which is amazing. Everyone should watch it, and it should win. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is great. I still like Barry more. Good Place is good. I haven't watched this latest season. Russian Doll was great, except for the season finale / kind of cliffhanger I didn't like, and everything else I haven't seen. Outstanding lead actor in a comedy series. So we have Bill Hader in Barry, Anthony Anderson in Blackish. We've got Ted Danson in The Good Place, Don Cheadle in Black Monday, Eugene Levy in Schitt's Creek, and Michael Douglas in The Kaminsky Method.
Eugene Levy still putting in the work.
Man, him and his eyebrows. They're everywhere. Well, okay, they're just in this show.
Just two places.
They're just right above his eyes. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No.
Oh, really? Okay. Because you haven't watched any of
haven't
those.
watched it. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably the worst person you probably could want a reaction from off of Emmy nominations because I watch very little television.
Well, this is just great that we started a podcast about all this. You should try out The Good Place. I think you and Casey would like that.
Casey likes it, and I've watched a little bit. I think I've probably seen about half a season at this point. But Yeah, I just haven't sat down and really watched.
That's fine.
The majority.
We all got things we got to do. Outstanding lead actress in a comedy series: Christina Applegate in Dead to Me, Natasha Lyonne in Russian Doll, Phoebe Waller-Bridge in Fleabag, which has been getting a lot of good reviews, Catherine O'Hara in Schitt's Creek, Rachel Brosnahan in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, she's great, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Veep. Dreyfus, whatever. All right, let's move on to Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. We've got, 3 nominations for Barry. Stephen Root. Can you not take my stapler? That guy.
Oh, okay. Is he in Barry?
Yeah, he's in Barry. He plays Barry's handler.
Oh.
Henry Winkler in Barry.
Oh.
And Anthony Kerrigan. Now, have you ever seen Gotham?
I watched one episode, and then I went, that's enough for me, sir.
Okay, well, he plays Victor Zsasz in that show, and he's very much not like Victor Zsasz portrayed in the comics and the games, where he's like all crazy carving on his. He's like a very funny, bald serial killer, but in the show he's like a hitman for the mob. He is hilarious in Barry. I'll play you a clip after we record, but you just watch Barry. Trust me.
Yeah,
I know
need to
you'll
get
love
around
it.
to it. Yeah,
it's so good, and every time there's a serious scene where like. Something serious happens. I don't want to say anything without spoiling. It's just like, oh wait, this is not just it's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Which
well,
is
the
my
whole
favorite
premise is a dark comedy.
Yeah. Premise of Barry is Bill Hader plays an assassin who once he finds out that there's like an acting class. He wants to become an actor, so he starts taking this acting class and then gets involved with all the people there, and all of a sudden he doesn't want to be a hitman anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that. It's great. The other nominees are, this is for Outstanding Supporting Actor, Alan Arkin in The Kominsky Method, Tony Shalhoub, good for him, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Tony Hale for Veep.
What is Tony Shalhoub in?
Tony Shalhoub, he was Monk.
Yeah, no, I know what he's been in. What is he in that he's nominated?
He's The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. He plays Mr. Maisel.
Okay,
he plays the main character's father. He's great in it.
Because when you said Tony Shalhoub, I was like, I wasn't aware that he was doing anything after Monk.
Yeah, he's got to. Everybody's got to work. Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. So we have Sarah Goldberg in Barry, the main love interest. Olivia Colman in Fleabag. S-I-A-N. Is that Sean?
S-I-A-N. Cyan?
Cyan Clifford. I feel bad. I'm sorry. Betty Gilpin in Glow. Kate McKinnon in Saturday Night Live. Alex Borstein in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Maren Hinkle in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And Anna Chlumsky in Veep.
Does Alex Borstein in Miss Maisel, is she like a side friend character?
Yeah.
Because she's always a side friend character.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's kind of her manager at the...
Gotcha.
I haven't watched season 2 or 3. I think they're on 3 now. I've only watched the first season, but she's great in it. Outstanding guest actor in a comedy series. I'm sorry, this is taking long. I'll go faster. Outstanding guest actor in a comedy series. Matt Damon, Saturday Night Live. Robert De Niro, Saturday Night Live. John Mulaney, Saturday Night Live. Adam Sandler, Saturday Night Live.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Luke Kirby, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Rufus Sewell. Is it Sewell or Sewell? Rufus Sewell. Main bad guy from Knight's Tale. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Peter McNicol, Veep. So,
have you
Saturday Night Live is probably
watched
going to win.
any of Delaney's stand-up?
Yes,
Oh,
love it.
fucking
It's
great.
so good.
So good.
It's wholesome, but at the same time, like it's got an edge to it.
Yeah, Casey and I constantly
Like New in Town
Yeah.
or what's the other one? Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah.
Outstanding guest actress in a comedy series. I'll stop with this one. Fiona Shaw, Fleabag. Sandra Oh, Saturday Night Live. Kristen Scott Thomas, good for her. Fleabag. Emma Thompson, Saturday Night Live. Maya Rudolph, The Good Place. She's great in that. Jane Lynch, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And then there's Outstanding Directing, and we'll go, that's like episode by episode. and then it gets into like technical stuff. Oh no, wait! Outstanding drama series: Better Call Saul, Bodyguard, Game of Thrones, Killing Eve, Ozark, Pose, Succession, and This Is Us. I've only seen
I have
one of those.
2 questions from that list.
Yes.
One, when did Call Saul? Is that still going?
It's still going. It's like on its 4th season.
Well,
I think.
I felt like it's been on for longer than that. I felt like it had ended.
Yeah. It's doing well.
And 2, we had talked about this on Nicknames Movies previously, but the fact that Game of Thrones is even nominated is...
It's nominated like 14 times.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know it's nominated for script writing for the final episode.
Yeah, of all episodes.
Yeah.
Amelia Clarke is nominated for lead actress. Kit Harington for lead actor, who has like in the entire season 8 has like
McQueen.
Yeah, 5 lines and they're all the same line. Outstanding supporting actor, Alfie Allen from Game of Thrones, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, Peter Dinklage. Same with supporting actress Lena Headey, Sophie Turner, Maisie Williams, Gwendolyn Christie. Wow. Out of 6 of the nominations for supporting actress, 4 of them are Game of Thrones.
2, I don't know if they didn't get paid for nominations, but they got paid to be considered.
Yes.
It was Melisandre, and I thought it was Gwendolyn Christie. I guess she got nominated.
For this year?
Yeah.
I know you have to put in money to even be nominated.
Well, and generally the shows will do that
for you. Yeah.
But they paid for it themselves out of pocket.
Yeah. Well, they got the money.
Yeah.
Guest actress Carice Van Houten, which is Melisandre. I know I'm just mentioning all the Game of Thrones actors and actresses, but it's just astounding that all of these like the episode names. Outstanding writing for drama series. Game of Thrones, Iron Throne, Handmaid's Tale, Holly, Better Call Saul, Succession, Killing You. It'll be interesting to see who wins what, how many Game of Thrones, because they'll win at least one award.
I feel like any technical ones, those make sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, you look into the amount of work that went onto that, and it's fucking astounding.
The people behind the scenes definitely deserve the recognition.
The people that actually wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Not the damn writers.
Who, just tossed it because they got their Star Wars deal.
Like, people are mad. Let's go to the woods. Never come back.
Outstanding lead actor in a limited series or movie. Jared Harris got nominated for Chernobyl.
Oh, yeah.
So that's cool.
He's in Carnival Row too, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I don't think that got nominated, or that's not.
I think
in
it was too recent.
Way too recent. And then, so outstanding directing. There's 3 Game of Thrones episodes. Episode 8. I think it's The Last of the Starks, Iron Throne, and The Long Night. And all 3 of those are like the most hated episodes of the entire show.
Yeah.
That's just astounding. All right, so I'll just stop there. There's a lot. I will actually put a link of all of the nominees in the description below, if you would like to check that out. But also, just what you could do is you could watch the broadcast live. What I always do is watch the highlights after, because it's like a 4-hour affair, and a lot of it's just fanfare and like fluff and let's look at all the actors and their pretty little gowns. And what news do you have for me?
So to start off the top, I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure you mentioned this before we started recording. Sony has been approached about remaking The Princess Bride.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Several people apparently.
A lot of what'd they say in the title? I think it was like very big, high up people.
What was the quote?
I have express.co.uk. Blah blah blah. Let's see.
Very famous people whose names I won't use, but they want to redo The Princess Bride, said Sony Pictures Entertainment CEO Tony Vinciquerra.
Good one.
Yeah.
I like how very fancy rich people are trying to come to him. Don't do it. Listen to the internet. Don't do it. Like, I'm not about cancel culture and that whole thing and how the internet is basically just the worst mistake humanity's ever made. But sometimes whenever you need to get the popular opinion about entertainment, news, media, whatever, kind of listen to the internet for just get a good consensus.
Well, there's a balancing act, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to listen to all of the internet, and you don't want to primarily just listen to the internet.
Listen to the people who can spell.
Yeah.
But also listen to the actors. Carrie Elwes went on Twitter and said that he is.
Well, I think
that's a bad idea.
I think that's what you're getting at more so is that you should probably listen to the people who actually care about that
and are behind the original project.
Money people.
Yeah. Hey, I have a lot of money. If we go do this so that I can make money off of it, it probably won't make money. You know. Well, okay. Here's the thing.
I don't know.
It will earn more than $1. I'm just saying that it's there's going to be a lot of people who petition it and stuff and won't even go see it because they consider the original to be such a big classic.
But a lot of those same people who petition because that does anything are going to go see it anyway. It's, because the curiosity for someone who cares that much to write a petition is going to get the better of them. They're going to see it one way or another.
The fight between curiosity and FOMO, fear of missing out, for those of you who aren't hip like I am.
Oh, yes, you're very hip.
Thank you.
You have 2 hips, even.
It hurts. Both of them.
Both of your hips. That's what happens when you get older.
The fight between curiosity and FOMO is a fight for the ages, you know?
Yeah.
Especially in today's modern age where you can have pretty much access to anything at any point. You can watch HBO on your phone and watch Netflix on your computer at the same time. You know, it's pretty crazy. There's we actually have a lot of reboot news this week.
Yeah.
I have my opinion about The Princess Bride is no, don't do that.
I agree. I don't want it.
I think there's a difference between cult classics that everyone loves and cult classics that and I'm warping the definition of cult classic, but there are some that are cult classics for a small group of people, and then there's widely loved that became famous after. Another film that they're rebooting is The Craft. Did you ever see The Craft?
No. I think I've vaguely seen things here and there, and I know what it is, but I've never sat down and actually watched the whole thing.
Well, it was a 1996 film starring, I always mess this up, Neve Campbell?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Or Nev.
Is it Nev?
Nev Campbell?
I've gotten yelled at for
Neve
this.
Campbell. I think it's Neve.
The chick from Scream and Christine Taylor, it revolves around a group of outcast teen Catholic prep school students who practice witchcraft on the side.
Okay.
It's Blumhouse producing it, of course, because they have a giant chokehold on the entire horror genre.
And see, I know this is going to be, kind of picky and choosy about which remakes I'm okay with. Blumhouse,
how dare you?
Blumhouse has proved that it's at least a studio that will put some effort into their projects.
They can do a lot with a small budget.
And for me, I have really no attachment to The Craft, so when I hear they're remaking it, I am not immediate don't do that. I'm just all right, yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, they rebooted Halloween. Was that earlier this year or was that last year?
That was last year.
Last year.
Halloween. Yeah, and that was great.
It was. As long as they had the same production team behind that. And that's already announced to have 2 sequels.
Yeah.
Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Yeah. Halloween Kills is a stupid name.
It is a dumb name, but
I still like mine.
What was yours?
Halloween 2, Back in the Habit.
You can't do that, all right? You can't do that.
I will.
And my second reboot is another spoopy film. Hopefully it comes out just in time for 2020. Never mind. January 2020. They're remaking The Grudge.
Yeah, I feel this has been in the works for a while, I feel like. Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's like one of those films nobody's really clamoring for it, but
I never thought the original American Grudge was really all that good anyway.
How dare you besmirch Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Hey, she's great in Buffy.
An American icon.
An American.
Scooby-Doo. Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah.
This one has Jackie Weaver, John Cho, Demian Bichir, and the chick who's in. Oh, no, I apologize.
Okay.
Lin Shaye from Insidious and that whole the Conjuring universe. She is also set to appear in this.
Gotcha.
Probably going to die instantly. January 3rd, 2020. When you're
spookiest of times.
When you're a horror movie and you come out in January, it's not a good sign. Mostly.
Yeah.
I say that mostly because there have been some hits in the past.
Does it say when in January?
January 3rd.
Doesn't Star Wars come out like a week before that?
December 19th. So 2 weeks
that's
before.
Still really soon, man.
Yeah, and people will still be saying that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be successful. It's a remake of a film that came out in 2004 and had like 2 sequels to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What other news do you have for me?
Okay.
Reboots and reboots and reboots and reboots.
Let's see.
Go see what you're interested in, you know?
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell are teaming up for a musical version of A Christmas Carol.
So, I don't understand why people hate Will Ferrell. Let me just get that off my chest.
Yeah.
I can understand like some of his obnoxious comedy people don't get, but like he's a genuinely funny dude.
Yeah.
And his comedy has only been honed throughout the last couple of years. Say what you will about Holmes and Watson. In some of the few like films where it's just garbage from garbage writing, garbage directing, everything, Get Hard, all of the more previous films where he tries to do buddy comedy films.
Yeah, this is from the same team that did Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, then I hate this film because those are the Will Ferrell movies I don't like. I don't like it when you have like just this subpar director and subpar writing being put, and you get like Will Ferrell, who did Elf, man, which is a staple Christmas movie now.
It is, yeah. Every year we watch it. Yeah.
I mean, Step Brothers.
Yeah.
The Other Guys, which is hilarious,
it is,
and anyone who says it isn't is an idiot.
I'm a peacock.
I need to fly. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I love Ryan Reynolds. He's hilarious. He's on a roll right now.
Yeah, well, maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Neither of them can sing, though, as far as I can tell.
Maybe that's the joke.
Hopefully. Speaking of peacocks, though, and flying.
Yes. NBC's streaming service has been announced as Peacock.
That's the worst name for a streaming service.
It's pretty bad, and I get why they do it. They're doing it, right? Because their symbol.
Yeah.
Like, the Peacock Brothers. It's still bad.
Yeah. Aren't they owned by Universal too? Like they had higher ups that they approved
of this. I don't know
this.
If they're owned. I know this is going to have Universal movies on it.
Yeah.
So like Back to the Future will be on.
That's your go-to.
It's Universal. I don't know what your problem is with me and Back to the Future.
I mean, it's a weird,
great fucking movie.
I have movies like that too, so it's all right. I'm not judging. Weirdo.
Peacock is sent to launch in April of 2020.
I'm not going to fully support this until they bring back the Muppets sitcom show that was kind of a.
Did you hear about the Disney Plus thing?
No, what?
They were in beginning talks of doing a pilot for a new Muppet show.
Yeah.
On Disney Plus, and it got canned.
Why?
I don't know.
Do they feel like they're not relevant anymore? Is that why they're not doing it?
I don't know, but it's
just because the last 2 movies didn't make as much.
Yeah.
I thought the show, because it was basically The Office but with Muppets, it was hilarious.
I think they're still doing one. I think they had 2 projects in the pipeline for Disney Plus, and I think one, which was co-written by Josh Gad or produced by him or something like that. I think that's the one that got canned, and they might still be doing like a kind of faux variety hour sort of thing.
Like going back to the original,
Muppets,
the way original.
Yeah.
Damn. I just wish they got more opportunities to do stuff, because with the success of the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, the ball is in their court.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they just need to get the right team on it.
Absolutely, they need to have people who care about the project.
Yeah. But NBC on Peacock, they'll have a Battlestar Galactica reboot.
Is it Battlescar?
I think I did. Battlestar
Galactica, the new reboot after the 2005 reboot.
They will also be doing a Saved by the Bell reboot.
That's weird,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell before my time.
Right on the cusp, right?
Yeah, it was like right before. Late 80s.
Nostalgia is a very real currency, and you can pull in at least somewhat, or at least like that's what they're thinking.
At least $1 billion.
Something for views.
Yeah.
Like, there's some like huge Saved by the Bell fans. I mean, there's definitely enough Battlestar Galactica fans.
Oh, for sure.
That'll be like, I don't want to subscribe to another service to just watch Battlestar Galactica.
People did that with Star Trek and CBS. Yeah.
So, you know.
They'll do it. I recently had a heated debate with a friend of ours in a group chat about subscription services and how it's basically the new cable.
It is.
And it is, but that's how technology advances and that's how history happens. It tends to repeat itself.
Yeah.
We just kind of adjust and enjoy the things that we have and that we're willing to subscribe to.
Yeah, and you know, it does suck that there's like you basically have to have a cable package to get everything. But, you know, myself, I don't watch really everything out there. Obviously, you know, you went down the Emmy noms, and I'm like, I have watched very few of these.
Yeah, that was a poor choice on my part.
Like CBS, the only thing I'm even remotely interested on that CBS All Access thing is the new Twilight Zone.
Oh, they're going to say Twilight movies. I was like, wait, what? They're making a show?
Yeah.
Twilight Zone, yeah. And what ended up being with that show was it was kind of hit or miss, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what I heard. So, like, now I'm in no real rush to watch it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just by your own mileage, you know, what interests you.
There's still free trials that exist. Try something out, you know. Wait for it all to appear and then...
Peacock, and I can't get over the fact that that's the name. Is also going to be the exclusive home for The Office after
it leaves
Netflix.
Yeah. What is going to come to Netflix in 2020? Is it 2020?
In 2020, nothing.
Yeah.
In 2021, Seinfeld will be hitting.
It's going to be. They're definitely going to lose a lot of money in 2020.
Yeah.
See, they're and I feel like they know that they're definitely going to be pushing Netflix originals,
right,
a lot,
and they're laying the groundwork for it afterwards. Like, see, now after that year, you have Seinfeld.
Seinfeld is not a good trade-off for The Office and Friends.
No, and like Seinfeld is
no offense,
is a great show,
mm-hmm.
and it's still very, very funny. But you're losing your two highest stream shows.
Yeah.
You better hope to God that Seinfeld is the one thing that will at least kind of lessen that blow a little bit.
Yeah, soften it.
It's not until a year after those two shows leave.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a year after Friends leaves and
Office leaves at the end of 2020.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see. Personally, I've seen all three shows multiple times. They still have Parks and Rec on Netflix too.
Yeah, well, and
it's on Hulu.
Even with Seinfeld, you know, it's a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
So what happens at the end of those 5 years? Do they re-up? Fucking Netflix paid, what was it, like $100 million just to have an extra year with Friends?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that tells you how much they were pulling with just that alone on their traffic. I guess we'll see how that goes.
What's crazy to me is how much people are watching the same show over and over again. And I say that knowing fully well that earlier in this exact episode, exact recording, I was talking about watching Friends. I hadn't watched it since I was a kid, so I'm rewatching it.
It's like on-demand syndication.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing as turning on TBS and like, oh, Friends is on. But now you don't have to wait for it to
commercials
come on,
or
you don't have to wait till 10 p.m. to watch it. You can watch it whenever.
That's another point I want to bring up, tying into the previous point of the argument with our friend. The difference between this is the new cable and as opposed to the old cable is we now have more of a personal access to the shows themselves.
Right.
There's not as much of there's a commercial break, we have time to go to the restroom or whatever.
Well, and at the end of the day, as much as it sucks that Netflix is dropping Friends, right, or is dropping The Office, you will be able to, if that is something that you find really important, to follow that show elsewhere. That's still annoying, but it's not the same as saying like you need this bigger cable package. Like you had the little tiny one, the basic one. You're a fucking loser. You want to be a winner, right? Get the big one.
Yes.
So you have access to FX and can actually watch Always Sunny,
whenever
when it comes out, and not a year afterwards when it comes to Netflix. Even though I don't think they put it on Netflix anymore. It's on FX.
It's Always Sunny.
Extra.
Yeah, FX Extra and Hulu as well. Yeah. Sorry. I mean, it just depends. Where it depends on where you are, what you can afford, and what you're willing to watch. So we just have more. We have more content to appreciate and enjoy. It's just the water cooler moments are becoming few and far between, just because there's so much to watch.
Exactly. There's so much that there's no feasible way that you and every other person around you will have watched everything.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference from way back when you had 6 channels and everybody tuned in for
I wish
fucking Leave It to Beaver, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And that was it. That was the thing. Or they watch Carson, at night, and like, did you watch Carson at night? Yeah, of course I did. What do you think about this?
Yeah.
Instead you talk to someone like, hey, have you watched Handmaid's Tale? And you go, no, I haven't. And they go, oh, you should watch it. And then that's the end of the conversation.
I know. It's weird. It's weird how we have so much entertainment to watch and enjoy, and it's become a thing that makes people less personal with each other.
Yeah.
Not to mention there's the whole topic of technology and stuff going on in the real world. It's actually kind of funny. I watched the opening monologue / video trailer thing that Andy Samberg did when he hosted the Emmys a couple of years ago, where he's like, I haven't watched anything that came out this year. And so there's a whole like musical number. And it's just funny and kind of cathartic when at the end of it, he's like, I've watched every show. And it, I don't know, it made me feel good that he was able to watch every show because he locks himself in a bunker and is like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could pause all of reality and just watch everything and then...
Hey, man, I don't want to come into work today.
Yeah.
Just let me sit here.
I need to watch 5 seasons of Killing Eve.
And hey, that's not even counting if you're like into any other sort of media, right?
Yeah, like
that's
video games, music.
That's just TV. That's not counting movies. That's not counting anime. That's not counting video games.
Concerts.
Board games.
Board games with your older relatives.
Socializing, eating, going to the bathroom.
You got to do all of that? I don't have time. I haven't clipped my fingernails in 3 years.
Oh, yeah. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. It's kind of edging over to my side. So.
Hey, I watched The Aviator last week, and I thought I could do that.
Oh yeah, that's a great role model to have there.
What? He's a successful filmmaker
and a little crazy.
He enjoys soap. What's wrong with that? Turning the doorknob 3 times. Why not?
Yeah, of course.
What else do you have for me?
That's pretty much it. A couple little things here. Dan Aykroyd is going to be in Ghostbusters 2020.
Yay!
And he sounds like he doesn't really want to do it. He says...
yeah, all right.
Let me see if I can get the quote. Because it reeks of a man who just wants to be left alone.
Didn't the 4th Ghostbuster also say that he was going to be in it?
Oh,
help me out with his name.
Not Ivan Reitman.
No,
he's dead.
I think all of the alive Ghostbusters.
Most people are coming back, and Sigourney Weaver is also coming back.
She's killing it.
Yeah,
she's like, I you know what? I will be in every reboot of every film franchise I am known for. I don't care.
Yeah, it was an interview on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast.
Oh yay.
He says, Aykroyd says, I'm not in the picture so much anymore. We've got the Ghostbusters movie that we're working on now, and I will have to be performing in that.
Ouch.
Ivan Reitman's son, Jason, has written a new movie called, well, it's going to be Ghostbusters, the third movie. It will be most of the original people and then young stars.
Just say no. All right.
I will have to be performing in that. Is like the epitome of leave me alone.
People would have been sad for a moment, Dan, but they would have understood. Okay? They would have understood. What is Bill Murray confirmed?
I'm not actually positive.
Because he would be like the one who would be like, no.
I know it's not related in any way to the 2016 Ghostbusters.
Not at all. Yeah,
not
no.
at all. Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people are okay about.
Yeah, I think they're not. Yeah, nobody's really hurt by that. And then to close it out on my end with the news, Todd Phillips just wants you to leave him alone. Stop asking about
Joker.
Joker and whether or not it's coming back again after this one.
People are really excited for Joker, and the fact that it is a DC comic book movie, in the very loosest of terms, and people need to just accept that.
Well, it's like an Elseworlds title.
Yeah.
Like it's not connected
But
to
people don't know
anything.
that.
No, they don't. They're like, it's just going to be related to Robert Pattinson's Batman. No, it's not.
No.
Is it going to be part of the bigger DC expanded universe? No, it's not. Is there going to be a sequel? No, it's not. Just leave me alone.
Yeah,
just go see the movie.
It's just the one movie. Remember Suicide Squad? They're making a sequel / reboot. It's like that. It's like what's another kind of?
I honestly don't. I can't think of any.
Venom so far,
and I think like that's the problem, right? Like we're conditioned now from a Marvel point of view, where everything is interconnected, and even to some extent with DC, even though it's failed miserably, and now they're doing more standalone films. We're conditioned now with these superhero movies to be like they're all connected, and like this one is going to affect this one, and it's all a setup, and there's going to be 23 movies in this one arc, and like that's what it's all leading up to. And, and
thanks, Marvel.
Phillips is over here just being like, no.
Yeah.
I had to beg Joaquin Phoenix to do this in the first place, and it's really just unrelated.
It's messed him up too.
Yeah.
Like he's talked about like how
the weight loss,
him trying to figure out the laugh to make it iconic.
Yeah, he had to study a bunch of
crazy people.
Not like I don't want to say disturbed, but like people who suffer from what's the word where you just start laughing uncontrollably. Spontaneous laughing.
Spontaneous laughter. There's an actual medical term for it, but yeah. I'm really intrigued. I feel like, especially after watching Ad Astra yesterday, I'm very excited for movies coming out, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of it's award season.
Right.
It's getting there. So a lot of great films where they actually put forth the effort with the direction, the acting, the everything. Granted, we'll get a couple of duds in there, but Joker has been getting phenomenal reviews.
Yeah,
I'll just
across
try to
the board.
I'll just try to keep it in check when it comes to expectations. I do have one last thing. I don't know if this will be a weekly thing because I know they tend to update it every week, but I figured millions of people have Netflix, so I figured I would update them on things that they might be interested in.
Tell me about the things.
I'll tell you about those things. Have you ever seen the web series Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis?
Yeah.
The Between Two Ferns, the movie, is coming out today, September 20th. Well, it came out yesterday, September 20th.
When you, dear listener, are hearing this, it will have come out.
Yes. There's also a whole bunch of seasons of a show called Criminal, where it's like a documentary series.
Okay.
They take place in different countries across the EU. There's also part 2 of Disenchantment, created by Matt Groening of Futurama
the
and
first season
Simpsons.
Was a little had some mixed reception.
It was okay. It wasn't as funny as people were expecting because it's more dramatic. It has an actual story episode to episode.
Right.
It's not sitcom-y. There's also a limited series called Inside Bill's Brain: Decoding Bill Gates.
I saw the bump for this last night, actually.
It's just, people interviewing Bill Gates that he's super happy and he's a billionaire.
Like, how did you get so rich, Bill?
Well, I smiled and I shook some hands. You know what I mean? I had a couple BJs behind a Denny's, and what do you know? I'm a
I
billionaire.
don't think that's actually the thing.
That's a quote. That's a direct quote. No, it's not.
Asterisk. No, it's not.
No, it's not. So, I mean, that's exciting. There's a lot of... let's actually... I think I found some more exciting things.
Excites me.
Well, what came out Sunday? Surviving R. Kelly Season 1.
Oh.
Yes. No thanks. Last Kids on Earth, which is a apocalyptic animated
I saw a
Netflix
trailer for that. Yeah.
Looks okay. Looks kind of interesting. Between Two Ferns, Criminal, Disenchantment. Let's see. Nothing really. That's pretty much it,
Pretty blah.
It's a week-to-week thing, but, the Inside Bill's Brain thing, if you want to figure out, like, the man behind the money and the Microsoft, you can watch that. There's also The Mind Explained, which came out. I don't think it was this week. I think it was last week. But it's like it's a kind of docu-series created by Vox, I believe.
Okay.
And they go into, like, hold on. Let me actually just pull up Netflix real quick. Oh. Hopefully it doesn't play the audio. The Mind Explains. They do different episodes on each one. So, like, one's on memory, one's on dreams, anxiety, mindfulness, psychedelics. And then they do different seasons. Like, I think a new season's coming out next month or the month after.
That actually sounds pretty interesting.
So, like, if you're into documentaries, there's that. And then a whole bunch of anime stuff, of course, each week.
Of course.
And Terrace House, the new season.
Yeah.
So, a lot of stuff happening this week. Stay tuned for the Emmy nominations. We'll probably go over the winners next week. That way we have confirmation and we can actually be excited for people who won. Maybe some nip slips or, I don't know, something sensational will happen. I don't know. You don't seem that enthused. You don't care. You got anything else for me? What else is going on, Zach?
Oh, well.
If people wanted to, if they were excited about the news and they wanted to tell us if we missed any news or if they have any comments about our show, where can they reach us?
Yes, if you'd like to tell us how wrong we are about...
First off, how dare you? I'm always right. 100% of the time.
Yes, if you would like to comment on that, you can actually email us at lightscamera.nonsense@gmail.com. Nick, what was the email I just said?
Oh, crap. Quiz time. lightscamera.nonsense@gmail.com.
Hey, you passed the quiz. Congratulations.
Fuck yeah. All right. The link will be in the description down below as well.
Yeah, send us some questions and we'll answer it on the podcast.
No dick pics, please.
But, well.
Oh, okay. Something I learn every week.
I'm not going to say never.
I mean, if you're proud, live it up.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather it be us. Here's the thing. I'd rather it be us than an innocent woman.
There you go. We are falling on our sword. Wait, on
no,
your
we're
swords.
Following on their swords. Hey-oh.
Someone's sword is getting fouled on.
We were a pretty pristine professional podcast all the way up until this point. I'm really proud of us. We tried our hardest.
We did.
And so did they. That's why they sent the pics. Hey-oh. All right. Well, this has been Nicknames. Nope.
Oh, that rust. Oh, the habits, they die hard.
I'll cut that part out. Well, this has been Lights, Camera, Nonsense, keeping you updated despite our best efforts. Tune in every week for all the latest news, reviews, and how-do-you-do's. What do you feel about that?
Fancy free.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. And that is a wrap.
Bye.